Gen X isn't sarcastic because we're mean. Well, some of us aren't that mean. We're sarcastic because after 50 years, this is the only reasonable response left. Common sense has disappeared, customer service has disappeared, and instruction manuals now need YouTube tutorials just to figure stuff out. Even your watch knows you're stressed before you do. And somehow, we're the generation that's supposed to adapt to all this. Life used to make enough sense that sarcasm was optional. Now it's a survival skill. So what the hell happened to us? Growing up, we had 3 rules. Don't wear your nice clothes outside, and don't embarrass your parents, and be home before the streetlights came on. Notice what's missing from that? Stay alive. If you came home bleeding, the first question wasn't, "Are you okay?" It was, "All right, what did you do?" We didn't wear helmets or elbow pads. We wore scars and stitches. Seat belts were optional. Mom's arm across your chest, that was the safety system. You never admitted you were bored. That was basically like volunteering. And nobody ever asked you how you felt. Feelings were something you kept to yourself. We were told to rub some dirt in it or walk it off. Quit crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Now go outside and disappear.
Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here.
Then life decided that wasn't enough. Every 10 years it changed the rules. We spent years learning things that nobody even uses anymore. We practiced cursive for hours. We spent years mastering a stick shift and learning how to balance checkbooks and programming VCRs and memorizing phone numbers. And heck, half our education is basically a museum exhibit now. We spent decades getting good at things that all quietly disappeared. And people wonder why every Gen Xer answers life with sarcasm. Because every time we finally got good at something, the world said, "Nah, we don't do it that way anymore, boomer."
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
Nobody ever said, "I appreciate your friendship." They said, "Nice job, jackass."
You can be my wingman anytime.
Bullshit. You can be mine.
Our friends weren't therapists. They were unpaid insult comics. The better friends, the worse they treated you. And if somebody made fun of you, you knew you belonged. And if they suddenly stopped making fun of you, they kind of started wondering, are we good? Family wasn't any different. Heck, you'd walk into Thanksgiving, you weren't just walking in to say hi, you were walking into an ambush. Before you got your coat off, somebody had already commented on your hair or your job or your weight or your dating life, and you fired it right back at them. Nobody needed a safe space. We needed quicker comebacks. And if you couldn't take a joke, well, you were going to have a rough childhood. Then the younger generations showed up.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
The internet, it doesn't speak Gen X either. We grew up in a world where sarcasm didn't need an instruction manual. You called your best friend an idiot, and he called you something a lot worse. And somehow, you both survived. Now, the younger generations hear the same joke, and they start looking for emotional support. We spent 40 years learning that if somebody makes fun of you, it usually meant they like you. Now, if somebody makes fun of you, it's a crime against humanity.
You can't handle the truth!
We settled most of our arguments with one really good comeback. Now it takes 3 apology videos, a podcast, and somebody crying into a ring light. We grew up learning sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me. Now, words are apparently the most dangerous weapon on earth. No wonder Gen X sounds sarcastic. We spend our entire lives talking to people who understand sarcasm. Now we're expected to explain every joke to people who weren't even part of it. Maybe that's the biggest difference between Gen X and the generations that followed. We heard a joke, they heard a personal attack, and somehow we're the problem? Maybe Gen X isn't becoming more sarcastic. Maybe after 50 years, this is just the only reasonable response left.
I'm too old for this shit.
We grew up without helmets and we figured things out, usually the hard way. Then every decade, somebody would change the rules. Half the things we learned, they don't even matter anymore. The world got softer and somehow became easier to offend. Common sense became uncommon. Sarcasm became a survival skill. So yeah, we joke about everything because after 50 years of watching the world get weirder, what else are we supposed to do?